If you've ever come across me on TikTok, you're likely aware that throughout my entire life, I've had a slender-like physique. Like, I was known for being that skinny kid. Over the past 4 years, I've dedicated myself to literally everything to do with gym and fitness in an attempt to get bigger. Whilst some things worked, the majority did not. Nonetheless, this period of time allowed me to identify significant missteps that significantly hindered my progress up until how I look right now. Yeah, I'm not saying I'm the biggest guy in the world, but I've managed to pack on an additional 26 kilos compared to my previous self. So if you are skinny right now, I really do know how it'd be. If I had the chance to turn back time and start all over again, these are the 4 biggest mistakes I would tell myself to avoid and what to do instead. Chapter 1, not bulking correctly. Basically, at the start of my gym journey, all I wanted to do was gain weight. Nothing else mattered. So once I found out that I needed to be in a caloric surplus to gain weight, I would eat everything and anything to do so. Oh my goodness, was that a big mistake. Not only did I amass a substantial amount of unnecessary body fat, but my mental health was also at rock bottom. Something I failed to recognize was the unnecessary need for a high caloric diet to stimulate muscle growth. You may have seen pro bodybuilders going on these crazy high calorie diets to gain size, but the difference is that they're bodybuilders competing for a show and taking different sorts of PEDs that help them absorb, burn calories, build muscle. It's just different from you and me. So all this excess of calories that I was consuming was not only making me feel sick and bloated 24/7, but I would sometimes eat 700 to 1,000 calories on one day, which would completely ruin the next day because I was unable to get in my calories to even hit break even. It was out of control. All right, let's delve into the concept of food volume in relation to calories. I would find myself eating foods that were extremely high in volume and low in calories. Of course, at the time I didn't realize this, but I was consuming all this food thinking I was eating all these calories, but in fact I really wasn't eating that many calories at all. Eventually I discovered a more sustainable method to increase my calories without force feeding myself late at night. It was simply just integrating more fats in my diet. Instead of opting for chicken breast and white fish, I switched to chicken thighs and salmon. These meats are richer in fat and consequently equals more calories. This extends beyond meats. Fats are in all sorts of different foods, nuts, avocados, cheese, the list goes on. My last mistake to do with bulking was that I didn't gain an appetite in the morning. Consequently, led to me not eating really anything until noon. So I found that getting up earlier, drinking a big glass of water as well as going for a 10-minute walk straight away before I did anything else would wake up my metabolism so I could eat my first meal ASAP. Chapter 2, programming, progressive overload, and training intensity. Gee, I'd say a good first half of my lifting journey, I had absolutely no structure with my training. I would go in, hit chest, and then I would go in again the next day and hit chest, and then I'd go in again and hit chest, and then maybe a little bit of arms after that, and then maybe some legs every month or 2 or 3. This was obviously a huge mistake, so eventually I transitioned into a push-pull legs split, and my newbie gains went through the roof. So yeah, life was great, gym was good, but as it often happens, I hit another hurdle. Although I was following a structured routine, my gains in strength were slowly tampering off. Whilst I already heard of the term progressive overload, it didn't fully register with me on how important it truly is until later on in my gym journey. There comes a point when incorporating some sort of progressive overload is absolutely crucial. It honestly does make the difference, and it took my physique to the next level. Now, initially I got this wrong. See, most hypertrophy muscle growth programs are laid out with your sets and your rep ranges. For example, an exercise on my program could be 10 to 12 reps of 3 sets. So here I am performing my reps for bicep curl, 9, 10, 11, 12, and without struggle, I would stop my set. This would happen for set 2 and set 3 as well. And then maybe I would increase the weight next week if I was maybe feeling up to it. Boys, if there's one thing that 99.95% of all gym goers aren't doing and should be doing is pushing themselves to complete failure. So break the rep range and push until you physically cannot. Performing partials, just reach complete utter failure. And of course, don't be stupid and break form. That's just going to lead to injuries, but you get the point. If you are struggling to find a structured, good workout plan, send me a Instagram message of the word skinny and I'll send you my current program for free, no strings attached. Just make sure you finish this video first though, please. Chapter 3, recovery. Now, whilst I was trying to put on size, I was a huge gamer. Now, don't get me wrong, I still enjoy a game or two, but I would stay up to ridiculous hours and not thinking it would affect my gains, my growth, my diet, my overall happiness, to be honest. I don't want to sound like an old man, but if you don't get a good night's rest, your body won't recover. Once I started getting 9 hours of sleep every single night, I could eat more, I could train harder, I felt better overall generally throughout the day. The list goes on. Find an amount of time that works best for you and stay consistent with it. Some people need 6, some people need 9. Chapter 4, consistency, planning, and commitment. Rightio, so this is probably the most important thing you could take away from this video. You already know that I was going to the gym without any sort of structure whatsoever, but once I actually sat down and figured out my workout plan, my training regime, when I was going to sleep, what I was doing throughout the day to achieve this goal that I wanted to do, which was to gain weight, all I had to do was execute this roadmap that I had created. So I'll try not to sound corny, but mid 2022 is when I figured out my why. And honestly, I think it was a huge mistake that I didn't take the time to figure this out earlier. Anyone can write goals on what they want to achieve in the gym, but having a strong why on why you actually want to go really did get me through the times when I really couldn't be bothered with it. If you've watched this far into the video, congrats to you. You're very motivated right now, but I can guarantee you, maybe not tomorrow, next week, next month, the motivation will fade, and having a strong why will keep you disciplined and keep you going. Not having a why led to me not following my meal plan, not following my training, not committing to my bulk. It just led to me being inconsistent and not reaching my full potential. So yeah, don't forget to treat your mind like a muscle, get those reps in, figure out your why. So yeah, that's my 4 biggest mistakes going from skinny to muscular. If you have something to add, feel free to comment below. Otherwise, that is it from me.